Hello everyone, welcome to FIA Manufacturers Cup Round 1. What you're seeing here is my first race with a professional racing team that I have recently joined. They are called Top Tier Gaming, so what is required of me is to put TTG underscore at the beginning of my gamer tag. I forgot to save the clip after I was done with the race, so the reason you're not seeing lap times here for our qualifying is because I forgot to save that video, and the recent update, they've put this feature into the replays, so you're getting to see this feature, but you don't get to see the lap times. But we're getting ready to start the race. As you can see, I got the pole here. This race is not going to be a fair race, I guess you could say. Because this is a new account for me, I've been having to level up the account, and what that means is I have to race some sport mode races, daily races, to get my points up. So the group that I am racing in is not the same speed as the groups that I'm normally used to racing. Right now it has my driver rating as a B level only because the driver rating goes by points. My safety rating is an S rating, of course, but because my driver rating is not up to the A or A plus that I'm normally at with my other account, I have to race in the lower ranks right now. So what you're seeing is my very first race with this account in the FIA Manufacturers. This Lexus that I'm driving is a really, really good car. The tire wear is not so good, but this car is much faster on the straightaways than the M4 that I drive on my other account, which I've also posted a video of that race on YouTube. And the reason that this Lamborghini is staying with me right now is I was too busy watching my mirrors and making little mistakes here and there, so my lap was slower than it should be. But as you can see, I'm finally starting to gap him. All I need to do is clear him by about 9/10 of a second and he will lose my draft. As you can see in the mirror, he is falling behind a little bit. Now my goal is to try to break his draft and just start pulling away. What I don't realize, as you will see here in a lap or so, my tire wear is pretty bad on this car, and to me it seems like that Lamborghini was having a little bit better tire wear because he was able to run the similar lap times to what I was running. But in all fairness, my lap times weren't what I had practiced. My lap times in practice, usually I would do 2 to 3 of them in the 139 time bracket, and then I would do a couple in the 140 time bracket, and then I would pit and do that all over again. But in this race, for some reason, I was too worried about my mirrors and breaking his draft, and I kept looking up at the timer on the left side of the screen. Now you won't see my gap on this one because we're in replay mode, but when I'm actually racing, it shows a time gap. And the reason that I don't show the actual race footage is because I use the bumper cam view in there, and I think the in-car view looks better for you guys, so I choose to use the replay mode for that reason. Now I've started pulling away now a little bit, but in the next few laps you will see that I'm not actually going to be pulling away much further than what I'm currently running, because I believe that his tire wear is a little bit better, so he's able to maintain lap pace better than I am. My pace just keeps falling off faster and faster than his, And so that's where his advantage comes in this race versus my top speed advantage. So I did actually run a nice lap. A 139.3 is not a shabby lap with a 14 times tire wear that we are actually running. We're running 14 times tire wear and 3 times fuel in this race. So for every lap, your tires have done 14 laps. And so the tire wear is constantly going down. And as you can see on lap 3 here, I'm almost to that halfway point. I burned a quarter of tire off my left front side. And that's where I think mine differs from him, because I don't think his is wearing that fast, being he's a mid-rear engine car. And those cars tend to get better front tire wear, but worse rear tire wear. And if you look in my mirror, you can see he's gained a little bit on me in those corners back there because he has better tire wear, and I tend to pull on him on the straightaways. And you can see right there, I didn't brake soon enough for my tire wear, and so I hit the wall a little bit. And also, because I didn't brake soon enough, I was getting a very bad push, and that slides my tires and causes the tires to wear even faster than what they are currently wearing. And there again, I overshot that turn too. And I probably lost some time to this guy and wore out my tires a little bit more. But right now we're 2 laps from pitting because we just passed pit entrance. For some reason they put the pit road in the middle of the lap instead of by the start finish line. So we're going to be pitting at the 6.5 lap mark because that's when our tires will just be completely done in the front. And what I've done to help my tire wear a little bit, it also helps my car turn, is I've moved my brake bias towards the rear of the car. Therefore, the rear brakes are braking a little bit heavier than the front brakes to try to save on my tire wear and to help the car rotate in the corners. Especially when your tires go bad, you want your car to turn a little bit better. So that's helping a little bit. But as you can see, my lap 3 was a 140.1. That should have been like a 139.5 or 6, like I had been pulling in practice. And then my 4th lap should have been a 139.9 to a 140.1. So my laps are slow because I'm not just focusing on myself. Instead, I'm focusing on my mirrors and that gap. And that's a bad habit, and a lot of racers do that. So right now I'm just hoping that I can maintain a big enough gap to where he doesn't catch my draft. I have a couple of guys that pitted a lap early, so they're going to try to short pit. The only problem with that, they might gain a little bit on the person that's in front of them, but coming down to that last lap, the person behind them is going to have fresher tires, and unless you get extremely good tire wear, they're going to get back around you because you're not going to have enough tire to battle side by side with those guys. So here I'm trying to split this right down the middle because it just actually works out that way this week. A lot of times these races work out to where, let's say it was 12 laps, some people will run 7 laps and then pit and then run 5 laps. That way they have fresher tires at the end. But if you look at my left front tire right now, that thing looks horrible and it's almost completely gone. So it's everything I can to hold this guy off. My corners are a lot slower. Lap times have dropped tremendously. Not tremendously, what a word. Tremendously. So now we're gonna just take the car off into the pits. Hopefully we can enter pit road a little bit faster than this guy. And we can just get out ahead of him. Our pit entry is actually in a parking garage. I kind of find that a little bit funny. But here, all we've done is basically maintain the gap. So I'm hoping that I have a better acceleration speed than this guy, so that I can get up to speed and pull away from him. I'm also driving a little more cautious than I normally do in practice because this chicane right here is very sensitive to penalties. I mean, you barely get your tires over those white lines and it'll give you a pretty big penalty. I think the smallest penalty I've gotten through there in the practices is a 1.9 second penalty. But that 1.9 second penalty can end up being a 3 to 3.5 second penalty, because they have put the penalty marker on the backstretch of this track, and that is the longest straight in the track. So what happens in this game is it serves the penalty for you. You're not allowed to serve the penalty on your own. So when you get across the yellow markers on the backstretch, which you won't see in this game mode because this is a replay, it'll start braking for you automatically, and it'll brake until your time runs out. And by that time, your car has slowed all the way down, and now you've got to get the car back up to speed while the other cars continue. Right there's the actual yellow markers, so they've added those to the replay. I was wrong about that. But that's where you would be serving your penalty, and you would slow down. So in reality, a 1.9 second penalty becomes a 3 to 3.5 second penalty, because of the time it takes for your car to get back up to speed. So it looks like I've increased the gap a little bit on this guy behind me. I'm trying to put in a nice hard fast lap while my tires are fresh. I like the sound of this V8 motor. It's got a really good sound to it. And we got a 39.7. That's not as good as our 39.3 that we got earlier, but let's see if we can maintain another 39 second lap. Right back through there, you've got to basically maintain the speed from the first corner to the second corner, because the corners are the same radius, and if you don't maintain speed and you increase your speed, you have to slow down for that next corner. So I just feather my throttle. You can watch it when we go back through there. I feather my throttle to just keep the same speed so that I don't have to slow down and wear out my tires even more. And on these straights here, when you get to these turns, you want to just turn your wheel as little as possible, because you don't want to scrub any of your straight line speed off. You want to keep that mile per hour climbing. And as of right now, I'm only a 10th off of my fastest lap time, so I might be able to pull off another 39 second lap time here. We'll see what happens. This corner here is flat out. It's not a bad track. I like it. All right, we actually pulled a 39.5, so that was even better lap time than the previous lap. So now we're looking to either hit a high 39 or possibly a low 140. But if you watch here, I'm going to go in this corner right here. I'm going to lift my throttle right there. Lift again, maintain the speed, lift again, and then flat out. Some cars do it better than others. My M4 was really fast through there. It was a little bit better than this Lexus, but my Lexus has way better top speed than my M4 did. And what I call my M4, that's my BMW car for the Group 4 class that I drive, for those of you that don't know racing a lot. But the guy behind me, he's still maintaining that gap. So I ran a 140.4, not as low as I wanted, but it seems like this stint is turning out to be a little bit better than last. I keep overshooting that turn right there past 2 laps. But this guy, he just won't go away. He's like a little flea or a tick, and so it's hard for me to not look in my mirror at him when I'm actually racing, but it looks like something just, oh, I think he accrued a 3-second penalty. That's right, he messed up on the chicane. So basically what has happened is he got 3 full seconds before the car will even start going again. So he actually lost, if I remember correctly, 7 seconds to me. Well, 6 seconds, because I already had like a 1.4 second gap on him. So now I can relax. I don't have to drive very hard because I've only got 1 lap to go. And so we're doing well. As you can see, I didn't even realize it until I watched this replay, but man, my brakes, when I was braking, my left rear tire was just lighting up red, and my front tire's almost gone. But I don't have to worry. I'm on my last lap. I'm on the back stretch. Got a 7-second gap to this guy. I'm pretty happy. The only thing I wish that would have happened, at the beginning I told you I'm in a lower bracket tonight in this race, and because I'm in a lower bracket, you don't receive as many points at the end of the race. Like my race with my BMW tonight, if I would have gotten first place, it was awarding me 1,825 points, I believe, as to where this race is awarding me 825 points. So that's one reason they want you to play a lot of dailies and FIA races, to level yourself up to where you should be ranked. and because I'm not at that level, I'm getting lower points. But anyway, so there you have it. That's my first round with my top tier gaming account. I'm very honored to be driving for this group of guys. They're a very nice group of guys, fun guys, a little bit younger than myself, but I feel like I fit in with these guys, and I hope you enjoyed the race. That is FIA Manufacturers Round 1, and I will be streaming probably Wednesday. I will put up the next set of races, so I hope you enjoyed this, and thanks for watching.